We begin in Washington, D.C. this morning, where the White House is trying to limit the effects of the now 26-day-old partial government shutdown. Nearly 50,000 furloughed federal workers are being told to return to their jobs, though they still won't get paid. Many of the employees are being recalled, are involved in processing tax returns, inspecting food and medicine, and airport safety. In the wake of the shutdown, the Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services says it will work to distribute February SNAP benefits on Thursday, January 17th. That's about 2 weeks early. This early distribution follows recommendations from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Supplemental nutrition assistance benefits are normally loaded on the Montana EBT cards the first week of the month. The federal government has told states they may still issue benefits until funds are no longer available. Officials are urging benefit recipients to space food purchases out over the month rather than making a single large purchase.
The most important thing to remember is that this is not extra money that's showing up on their electronic benefit card, that it's money that has to be stretched clear till the end of February. And so budget accordingly and develop meal plans that will help you do that so that you're not hungry at the end of the month.
The state says if you're currently in the SNAP program and are eligible for February benefits, then you don't need to take additional action. Anyone applying for or renewing benefits is encouraged to submit their application as soon as possible. Here in Billings, after decades of serving up pork chop sandwiches and cold pints of Guinness, Pug Mahone's Irish Pub and its neighboring businesses are forced to close by the end of this week. This news follows the death of pub owner Bill McIntyre, better known as Mac, just last week. As Q2's Samantha Sullivan reports, the news of the closures comes as a huge surprise to employees at all three businesses in the building.
I got a phone call yesterday that was just very brief, saying that Saturday night is the last night that the building will be open.
Alyssa Landsverk took over Guido's Pizza less than a year ago. Now she'll have to close the doors.
Just shock, and there is so much involved, so many people's lives. There is a crew of waitresses over at Pugs who've been there 25, 30 years. There's kitchen staff that work day in and day out for Mac. There's the casino attendant next door has been there longer than I've been here.
Pug Mahone's, which has occupied its location since 1983, and the Bookie Casino were owned by Bill McIntyre. He also owned Guido's before gifting the business to Landsverk last year. McIntyre passed away on Saturday morning after battling cancer.
He was a wonderful, wonderful man. He took me in, like I said, basically off the streets, not knowing me from Adam, and gave me then last year everything in here and said that he just wanted to see me successful.
Landsverk said there was never a lease signed, and since McIntyre owned and operated the other businesses, there doesn't seem to be anything they can do to keep them from being shut down.
I know that towards the end, the last year or so, he was looking at his options as far as selling, being done, retiring, and I just think it all happened a little bit faster than anybody was ready for it.
As for the future, Landsverk says they're working to find a new location and see what the next chapter brings.
There was some grief and some shock, but really my attitude is whenever a door is closed in your face or there's doors that you're looking at to open, the ugliest ones, once you open them, always have the most beautiful scenery on the other side. And so I believe that everything happens for a reason, and we are just flowing like water through this situation, and we're going to make the best out of it.
In Billings, Samantha Sullivan, MTN News.
Q2 reached out to members of the McIntyre family for more information on the closures and the plans for the building, but have not yet heard back. Since 1984, St. Patrick's Day had always been the biggest day of the year for Pugs, celebrating the annual tradition with green beer, corned beef and cabbage, and smiles to go around.
Two kinds of people in this world, Irish and those that wish they were.
And while the future of Pug Mahone's remains to be seen, there's no doubt its sudden closure will leave a hole in the upcoming St. Patrick's Day pub crawl. Now we go to Millstone, where students will return to class today after the school was closed Tuesday due to a perceived threat on social media. Millstone Superintendent Brett Scott tells us late Monday night, parents notified staff about a potential threat to the school or student body made during a student conversation on social media. Scott says, looking out for the safety of students and staff, schools closed Tuesday to allow officials to further investigate. The Muscle Shell County Sheriff's Office contacted the person of interest, and after investigating, Sheriff Sean Lesnick tells Q2 there was never any threat to the schools. Superintendent Scott says it's always best to err on the side of caution. One person is dead and another in critical condition after an SUV collided with a snowmobile in West Yellowstone. The two victims were both on a snowmobile traveling south on Dunraven Street Monday when they failed to stop at an intersection and were hit by an SUV. The impact knocked both snowmobile riders from their sled. One was rushed by a medical helicopter to a hospital in Idaho Falls, while the other was pronounced dead at the scene. Both were vacationing from out of state. Authorities have not yet identified those involved. The driver of the SUV was not injured. And in Hardin, we're learning about a crash that killed a 79-year-old pedestrian earlier in the week. We're told the man was killed Sunday as he was walking on Montana Highway 47 near the Love's truck stop. Montana Highway Patrol says the man was walking north on the highway when he stepped into the northbound lane. An oncoming semi swerved to avoid him, but a Ford pickup behind the semi did not instruct the man. The man was transported to Bighorn County Memorial Hospital where he died. Neither the man nor his hometown have been identified. The National Safety Council reports the odds of accidentally dying from an opioid overdose in the U.S. are now greater than dying in a car accident. The Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services says since the year 2000, more than 700 Montanans have died from opioid overdose. New legislation in the state has improved access to the antidote for opioids. The antidote gives individuals the ability to help someone who has overdosed.
Family member or friend or concerned person can go to any pharmacy in the state of Montana and get the reversal agent and some training on how to apply the reversal agent so that they can keep that person breathing until paramedics can get there.
And some doctors say the reversal agent gives them hope that people now have more control over a life-threatening overdose situation. Meanwhile, in Helena, one of the most significant portions of Governor Steve Bullock's proposed budget had its first hearing Tuesday at the legislature, the state university system. Front and center are proposals to make the U system more accessible for all Montana students. The governor is proposing a $24 million increase in state funding over 2 years in order to freeze college tuition. The proposal also includes another $5 million for financial aid to help students who might otherwise be unable to afford college. On a per-student basis, Montana ranks 49th in the nation when it comes to providing state-funded financial aid for its colleges. Montana State University President Waded Cruzado told a legislative budget panel about a scholarship program MSU would like to expand, helping kids from working-class families. It's named after MSU graduate Maurice Hilleman, who went on to develop vaccines that saves millions of lives. Cruzado said Hilleman had planned to be a store clerk in Miles City until a scholarship helped fund his education.
But a scholarship changed all that. A scholarship changed his life. And that scholarship, I want to believe, was more than just dollars. It was a signal that someone believed in his potential. With that little bit of help, this ordinary son of Montana went on to an extraordinary career that improved all our lives.
A House Senate budget panel will vote later on the university system's budget. More than $70,000 in grants are unveiled that will benefit school breakfast programs across the state. Montana Governor Steve Bullock, First Lady Lisa Bullock, and the Montana No Kid Hungry program made the announcement on Tuesday. 18 schools in Montana were awarded breakfast after the bell grants, which allow students to eat school breakfast during or between morning lessons. Helena Food Services Director Robert Worthy says the program continues to grow statewide.
obviously we're making a difference. We're reaching kids, and that's ultimately our goal, is to get those kids nutrition so they can have, you know, breakfast, and then they can have lunch, and then hopefully get them through until they get home for school.
Since 2014, more than $400,000 in private grant funding has been given to Montana schools to implement breakfast after the bell programs. A new report by the Institute for Tourism and Recreation Research shows fewer visitors came to Montana last year, but those tourists spent more money. The initial results show more than 12 million non-residents came to Montana and spent nearly $3.7 million. While the total number of visitors was down about 2% this past season, those visitors who spent time in the state ended up spending more. The new report shows non-resident visitors stayed in Montana up to 5 days in the summer and 4 days in the winter. Gas, food, and accommodations account for the bulk of the spending. The estimated non-resident visitor spending pumped more than $5 billion into Montana's economy. Those dollars support nearly 58,000 direct and indirect jobs.